Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and of course, they were getting to The Lost World Jurassic Park. Now, this is a 1997 sequel to the original Jurassic Park. It gets a 6.6 on IMDb, and of course, was directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, Lost World is a movie that I've actually, to be truthful with you guys, have never watched all the way through until now. This is a movie that I remember. I think I found a VHS, but I never really watched all the way through. This is also a movie I remember seeing on TV a lot. Really never a movie that I sat down and watched all the way through until last night. And Lost World, it's a very mixed movie for me. I'll say overall, I do really enjoy this movie. It is a good movie. I will say it's got great things in it. But I think what it is, it's a movie that also, you look at it, to be honest, you could tell there really wasn't need for a sequel. And that's the thing with Jurassic Park is, I do love the franchise as a whole. There's a lot of great movies in this franchise. But did you really need sequels to Jurassic Park? I don't really know. But if you take this movie for what it is, I think it's still a really good, really fun film. I would prefer Jurassic Park 3 over this one. I know a lot of people prefer this one over Jurassic Park 3, but Jurassic Park 3, we'll get into that movie. That is more of the, if you were to do a sequel, to me that's the best route you could go. That and Jurassic World. There are two ways to do it, fun ways, fast-paced ways. This one, it's a very mixed bag. I mean, I really do enjoy this movie. You have Steven Spielberg coming back once again to make this movie. And it's based off of the book The Lost World. And I think, like I said, there really was a lot of pressure to do a sequel. Because the first movie was a massive hit. And with any massive hit, of course, there's going to be talks of doing a sequel. And with Jurassic Park and where it left off at, it was possible to make a sequel for that film. Now, this one, the story, you have Ian Malcolm. This is years after the Jurassic World incident on Site A. I say Site A because now in this movie there's a Site B, the Lost World, which is this second island. And Dr. Ian Malcolm's character, he's being chastised, he's being mocked, called crazy. There's this rich guy who covered up the entire thing in Jurassic Park. And the Jurassic Park Island, Site A from the first movie, has been completely shut down. And during the shutdown, the dinosaurs were taken to Site B, which is this place where it was kind of a backup plan to be set up, where this is where they're going to breed all the dinosaurs and they're going to transport them to Site A. So Site B is the Lost World, this island that's completely wild, completely natural for these dinosaurs to roam on. And the character from the first movie, the guy who's in charge of the entire island, John Hammond, he is once again played by Richard Attenborough, which does a great job in this movie too. He sends Ian Malcolm to this island because there's this girl named Sarah there who is played by Julianne Moore, which is one of his girlfriends, and so John decides to send Ian Malcolm there because he knows that Ian Malcolm's going to go there. And I like how the Malcolm character is like, this is no longer a research mission, this is now a rescue mission. And Jeff Goldblum, he's the lead of the movie. He goes to this island with his, doesn't really want to go to the island with his daughter, but the daughter ends up following him there. He has a daughter where he and his daughter, they don't really have the best relationship. He doesn't really, he's not really close to her, doesn't really know much. I don't think he doesn't know much about her, but you could tell like it's this thing where he's never really there. He's always busy. He's always doing something, and they don't really have a lot of time to, be a father and daughter. There's this thing where she goes, I'm sorry about the gymnastics. She's like, they cut me years ago, and so it's a good dynamic with the characters there. I like that little dynamic, and him, his daughter, a couple other people go to this island. And when they get there, they decide to start exploring a little bit. They find Julianne Moore's character there, and then before we know it, the villain of the movie, this rich guy who has sent a task force of the island to pretty much take dinosaurs off of the island. And they're also hunters and deals with our leads trying to deal with the hunters and trying to get off the island. This movie, I really enjoyed it. I will say, now that I have finally seen this movie, I think there are ways that you could fix this movie to make it a little bit more better. I do enjoy this movie, and I want to get into the positives first, because the positives, the special effects here for 1997 look pretty good. That also gets into the problems as well, but as far as the positives go, as far as the CGI effects in a 1997 film at this time, they're doing the best they can. These special effects, most of it is CGI, but for what the CGI is, for 1997, the CGI doesn't really look that bad, so I'll give it that. I think it's an awesome idea to have Jeff Goldblum's character be the lead, and the daughter character was a likable character. I really didn't see why everybody hated the fact that she was in this movie. Like, her acting wasn't that bad, she wasn't annoying, she wasn't irritating. The gymnastics scene, which people say, it's so stupid, I thought it was a pretty cool scene where she does a gymnastic flip, kicks a raptor out the window. It didn't make me laugh, it didn't make me go, oh my god, like, what, like, Jurassic Park 3, there are a few scenes where I'm like, really? Really? That's the one thing with that movie. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, really? A raptor's gonna stay completely frozen through a glass jar, you're not gonna be able to see it move, then it moves and scares them? Or really, the raptor dream? Like, you know. But here, that scene didn't really bother me. It was just like, you know, I was like, alright, it's whatever. It was an entertaining scene. I didn't really see the problem with that scene. But I like the other supporting characters. You got Vince Vaughn, who's this photographer. You've got this guy who's in charge of the weapons. Thought he was a pretty good character. Julianne Moore's character was pretty good as well. So you have a good cast here. I will say that too. Great cast, some decent acting. The cinematography is another one of those things where it falls into the problems and the good things, where it's not a bad movie to look at. It's, I guess, on a technical level, very well shot, very good to look at. But we'll get into that in a second. So there's some good lighting in there. The special effects for the time look really, really good. And, you know, they still look somewhat effective. There are some scenes in this movie that I thought were really well done. The RV sequence, where there's these two buses being knocked off the cliff, they're hanging off the cliff, and Julianne Moore's character falls to the bottom, the glass is breaking every time she moves. I like that scene. That's a really awesome scene. And it's well paced. It goes at a good pace. And that whole scene was just, the effects were on point, the direction was on point, the acting was on point. Made for a very effective scene. I also like the sequence where, which is another really infamous thing about this movie, is the T-Rex in LA. That was a pretty cool idea. And also, I will say this, there are some good, you know, character moments. These are well-written characters. They do have some moments of dialogue where it's, you know, you're really getting into these characters. The acting wasn't bad, the writing wasn't bad, it was just, to get into the problems for me, I think what it is you did not need this over 2 hour long movie. This is about 2 hours and 9 minutes. You didn't need a 2 hour long movie. You just didn't. This could have all been done in an hour and a half, because really a lot of this stuff in the film is filler. You know, think about it. Think about all the significant things that happened in this movie. You could have done that in an hour and a half movie. This whole film, Lost World, could be done in an hour and a half. And that's why I love Jurassic Park 3, because it's an hour and a half, A to B, you know, or A to Z, I should say. A to Z, it's an hour and a half, it's straightforward, it's fast-paced, it's got a great atmosphere to it. I'll get into Jurassic Park 3. But that, that for me is my preferred sequel. I prefer it being more of this fun, chase, thriller, fast-paced, action-packed stuff, whereas this one, really slow burn, and it's kind of confusing they would go with that tone, because the first movie, while it is a slow burn, this one feels like it's even more of a slow burn, which is really strange to me. The sequel has even more of a slow burn to it, because as far as dinosaur scenes go, there's not a whole lot of dinosaur scenes. And you don't get to see the island that much. I mean, you see parts of it, and the dinosaur scenes, like, okay, the T-Rex scene was very well done. And I will say this too, the T-Rex design in this movie is probably the best design of the T-Rex in the series is in this movie. The first movies was breathtaking. This one was also breathtaking. And they even added new stuff to it, like the muscles twitch and just a better looking T-Rex. And I didn't know they could top the first movie's T-Rex. That looked amazing too, but here it looks even better. In the rain, the eyes, it's just creepy looking. The T-Rex in this movie is creepy looking. It is menacing. I like that. But the sequences that happen in the movie, I mean, you have, of course, the RV sequence, the really quick raptor scene, which there's only like a handful of raptor scenes in this movie. The raptors chasing Jeff Goldblum, his daughter, and Julianne Moore's character. The T-Rex is killing some of the hunters. The little baby dinosaurs, I don't know what they're called, but the little tiny ones. The opening of the movie, which I wasn't really a fan of the opening of the movie. This rich family goes to the island and the daughter gets injured by these dinosaurs. Really nothing to the opening of the movie. Just, it's very little dinosaurs. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot. Like, in Jurassic Park 3, I'm going to defend that movie because, like, it introduced new stuff in that movie. And in this movie, there's nothing really new. It's just a lot of talking, a lot of just slow pace, slow burn. This is coming from a guy that loves Phantom Menace. I love Phantom Menace. That's one of my favorite Star Wars movies is Phantom Menace. But to me, this one felt like it had even more talking in this than in that movie. That movie, you had them fighting the droids and a lot of the battles. Here, it's just like very spaced apart scenes. And just, I think what it is a lot of filler scenes. A lot of scenes of just lots of dialogue, characters just talking back and forth, lots of walking. I noticed that though when I was watching the movie. There's a lot of scenes where just walking for a long period of time. Or somebody will go missing. Oh, we gotta go look for this person. A lot of filler stuff. Again, the biggest problem for me with this movie, a great movie, but a movie that has problems for me. And one of the biggest, probably the biggest problem for me is the pacing. The pacing is very slow. It's very hard to sit through this movie. There's a lot of times where I was just checking my phone like, oh, okay, still got more to go. Oh, it's still on? Okay. It's one of those movies where you're checking your phone, checking the runtime. So it is a bit of a slow-paced movie. And I will say this, too. I think what it is in the first Jurassic Park, there's a great mix of practical effects and puppetry and CGI. It's a beautiful mixture in that movie. Absolutely beautiful. Here, it's a lot more in the CGI realm. A lot more green screen, a lot more CGI done dinosaurs. And for 97... I will give the movie this, like I said in the positives. For 97, this is top-notch CGI. But when you rely on the CGI so much, you begin to notice that it does look a little dated. Like a couple of the open scenery shots, a lot of just a really heavy reliance on CGI. CGI raptors, CGI T-Rexes, CGI baby dinosaurs. There's a few shots of puppetry. The RV sequence has some good puppetry. The baby T-Rex was a good puppet. The little tiny dinosaurs had like cool puppetry to them. So there is some puppetry in the film. It's just majority of it is CGI. And for 97, it's great CGI, but for the times, it does look a little bit dated. Now, I think what it is it could have been passed if it was more practical, but a lot of it is CGI. I will say this too, the whole idea of the hunters going in, trying to hunt dinosaurs. I liked the lead hunter who was trying to kill the T-Rex, this is the ultimate game, the ultimate predator, and I'm going to be the one that's going to hunt it. He has a double-barrel shotgun, going to go hunt this dinosaur down, this T-Rex. Okay, I like that idea. But the other hunters, there's nothing to these characters. They are just there I guess for body count, I guess for some carnage. There's not a lot of blood in the movie, so I can't really say they was there just for the gore, because there really is no gore. It's just a lot of throwaway characters that have no traits to them. One of them is just a guy, oh, he knows a lot about dinosaurs. He's pretty much the guy that just steps in and goes, oh, that's a T-Rex, or oh, that's a raptor, you know? Not a lot to the characters and the hunter idea, and I'm not a fan of the idea of the hunters coming there, and a lot of the movie, that's the thing, a lot of this movie, a big chunk of it is the hunters. Them being the villains of the movie, capturing dinosaurs. They're going to ship them back to the U.S. and the companies and stuff and trade them for money. Kind of reminded me of Fallen Kingdom, where it's the whole trading dinosaurs thing. And really enough, this and Fallen Kingdom end up having very similar problems. But we'll get to Fallen Kingdom when we get to that review. But I didn't really care for that aspect. I just didn't. Didn't really stick out to me. Didn't really seem interesting to me. Just didn't do it for me. So I'll say, and I will say this too, it is a well-shot movie, but I think what it is unlike the first movie and the third movie, they don't really open up this world. This world is a very condensed world of Jurassic Park, this lost world. It's, considering it's a new island and a new environment, the lost world, Jurassic Park 3 did more of an opening up the world, because this island, it just doesn't have any landmarks to it, doesn't have any important scenes, important looking scenes. Like, they don't, it's shot decently, but none of the environments stick out. The first movie, the environments did. There are certain scenes that you just remember from the environments. You know, the open field and the dinosaurs running through the field, and the characters are running with the dinosaurs in the field. That's a pretty cool scene. But here, it is a practical location, but there's a lot of green screen, a lot of CGI enhancements. At night when it's raining, you can tell it's green screen and CGI. So I think that's a second problem. It's a really big over-reliance on CGI, and when you're not doing much practicality to it, it begins to look a little dated, because there's not a lot practical there. It's a lot of CGI, green screen, and just CGI effects. But I will also say in the positives, I guess, to get back into the positives, I didn't mean to do that, but I will say the music is pretty good. The LA sequence, to talk about that real quick, it is a cool scene. I like the ending of the movie, them going to LA. There's this another Jurassic Park getting ready to get built, and I guess that's why they're transporting the dinosaurs back to the U.S. to trade them, but also to put them in this new Jurassic Park. And the LA sequence where the T-Rex is causing mayhem, you got some fun stuff. And but when you really, if I really think about it when I'm watching it, I'm like, this just feels like something that was tacked on. And it was something that wasn't planned. I don't think it was in the novel. It wasn't in the original script, I believe. That's what I heard. It's rumors I heard. It wasn't in the original script. It wasn't in the novel. It was just something that was tacked on later. And the reason why it was tacked on is because they felt like this should have had more of an impact to the ending. So they wanted to have an ending that's very exciting. And, oh, let's put the T-Rex in L.A. It felt like that. I don't know if the rumors were true on that or not. They're just rumors, so it's not like I'm sitting here saying, yeah, it's 100% fact. There are rumors that scene was just tacked on at the end of the movie, at the end of the production. And it really feels like that. I don't know if the rumors are true or not, but I can definitely feel that. It feels like that, because it goes from, okay, we're going to try and get off this island, to we've gotten off. Now, oh, this ship comes in and wrecks, and the crew is dead somehow. The T-Rex somehow got on this boat and killed the crew, and now it's loose in L.A. It felt very much like, oh, we need some more action. Let's put this in there. It just kind of felt like that for me. But I will say, the effects in that scene with the T-Rex are well done. It's shot very well. It's done very well. And I like the idea the villain gets eaten by the T-Rex, and the T-Rex kind of gets his revenge on the bad guy and leaves on to the movie. Which, that's another thing. The villain really wasn't really much. So it may sound like I'm over here bashing Lost World. I'm not bashing it. I'm just giving my honest opinion. It's just the bad things really stick out. But I will say, for what the movie is, to give it a good review, it is a good movie. it is a movie that still has that wonder to it, that still has that adventure aspect to it. Not as strong as the next movie, which I'll get to, but it still feels fun. It still feels like you're seeing this world. And it was really cool seeing this sequel that was trying to do something new. It wasn't just ripping off the first movie. It was trying to do something completely different. I like that. I like how it's at Site B. I like how Malcolm's character is the lead of the movie. That's a cool idea. I thought Jeff Goldblum did a great job as the lead of the film. I thought he did a pretty good job as the lead of the film, Jeff Goldblum. And some of the dialogue I also like too, where he's like, ooh, yeah, ooh, ah, everybody's so odd now until we're running and screaming. Or when he's climbing down the tree, or because they're all in this cage. He's like, how do you get down from here? And they're like, here, take this rope. Make sure you pull. The harder you pull, the faster you fall. He's like, all right. Pulls it and then just falls down to the bottom. Or they had the baby T-Rex and he comes and he's like, no, this can't be here. Nope, no. Like, that was a really fun scene. So a lot of his dialogue, the daughter character, I also liked her character. The gymnastics scene didn't really bother me. It was a cool scene where she jumps down and kicks the raptor. Come on, that's not that bad of a scene. It's a pretty entertaining scene. I like the scene where Malcolm's character runs. Did I say Malcolm? Yeah, Ian Malcolm. I don't know why I was thinking it was. I thought I said Alan or something, but Ian Malcolm's character, he runs into this like little gas station area. Not really a gas station, like this just little tiny building. And the raptor jumps through the window, and he opens the door and goes on the outside of it, and then it pretty much pushes him out the door. I don't know, it's a pretty good scene, pretty funny scene. But yeah, Lost World, it still is a good movie. It still, for its time, is made the best it could be. Just a very flawed movie. Very much a sequel that, for me, when I look at this movie, I'm like, the CGI, the green screen, the pacing, has a lot of problems. And I think also what it is these characters are good. These are great characters. They have a good cast of this film. But I really didn't totally focus on these characters. It's more about the hunters, which I really didn't care for that. But yeah, Lost World, I'm gonna give it probably a 6 or a 7. It's a pretty good little sequel. I liked it, but I can see why people don't like this movie very much. A good movie, but at the same time a very flawed movie. But I still enjoyed The Lost World. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on The Lost World Jurassic Park. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. And the Explorer of Horror is out. See you guys later. Peace.